Have you ever had a moment where someone said something so disrespectful it caught you completely off guard? Maybe it was a snide comment at work, a dismissive tone from a family member, or a friend making a joke at your expense. In that split second, you feel this rush of anger and maybe even embarrassment, but you're not sure how to handle it. Do you bite back? Do you stay quiet? Do you laugh it off even though it stings? If you've ever been in that position, you know how frustrating it is. And today, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you. Ways that not only shut down the disrespect in that moment, but also make sure you walk away with your dignity intact and being perceived as a calm and confident person. Hello, my beautiful superheroes. Welcome to my channel. I'm Scarlet Grace, and I help people bring their dreams to life by combining timeless mind techniques and psychology with the latest discoveries in neuroscience. This channel is all about becoming the version of you who has it all. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos. And if you want to work with me more closely or check out my courses, all the links are in the description below. Now imagine that you are in a meeting. You're explaining your point and someone cuts you off with a dismissive comment. Or you're sitting at dinner and a relative makes a joke that's more of a dig than a joke. Everyone hears it and all eyes turn to you. In those instances, most people do one of 2 things. They either swallow it and pretend it never happened while they're still secretly seething inside, or they snap back and say something that usually they later regret. But there is a much better way to handle this. You can calmly call out their behavior. For example, you can calmly say, "That sounded disrespectful. Did you mean it that way, or did it just come out wrong?" That one line does 3 things at once. It makes sure the comment doesn't get ignored. It puts the responsibility back on them without you raising your voice, and it shows you're not afraid to stand up for yourself. And here is why it works so well. People don't want to look bad in front of other people. People who disrespect you often do it in an attempt to be perceived as better or more powerful. So when you calmly but clearly call out their behavior in a way that also gives them a way out, like you're doing when you use this phrase, they will almost always take the way out because it allows them to save face in front of everybody else. They will take their comment back and even apologize in many cases. And the best part is, you didn't have to argue, you didn't have to yell, and you didn't have to lower yourself to their level. You just managed, with one single sentence, to put them in their place, and now everyone present perceives you as a composed, confident person who can easily stand their ground without losing their cool. But what if you speak up and instead of backing off, they actually push harder? That is where the next trick comes in. Stay calm and hold your ground. Disrespectful people often want a reaction out of you. They actually want you flustered. They want you angry or defensive. They want you to lose your cool. Because the moment you lose your cool, they feel like they've won. Picture this. You're making a point in a group conversation, and someone cuts in with a laugh or a dismissive comment. Your first instinct might be to raise your voice or get defensive. But instead, you say calmly, without even looking at them other than maybe giving them a very brief look, "I wasn't finished, let me complete my point," and immediately continue where you left off. That calm, steady response is powerful. It shows you're not shaken, you're not intimidated, and you're not going to let someone push you aside. People notice that. And it makes you come across as confident and composed, even under pressure. If the person doesn't back off, refuse to engage in a fight, remain collected. Let the person be the one who clearly loses their cool in public. This is actually very likely to happen because confrontational people see this as a power play, and the calmer you remain, the more it gets on their nerves because they aren't managing to get you angry or embarrassed. So it is very likely that they will end up exploding in the end. No matter how the incident ends though, if you remain cool and collected until the end, you will walk away as the winner in people's perception, while the other person will be perceived as difficult, rude, and unable to control themselves. Now, staying calm doesn't mean letting things slide. It means you don't let them drag you into a shouting match. It means you respond in a way that shows you're in control of yourself. And that's what at the end of the day earns real respect. Speaking up and staying calm protects you in the moment. But if you don't take the next step, you'll find yourself dealing with the same kind of disrespect again and again. What is this step? Setting boundaries and enforcing them. Boundaries are the rules you set for how people treat you. Without them, people push as far as they can. With them, you make it clear what you will and won't allow. Let's say a coworker keeps dumping tasks on you that aren't yours. A boundary sounds like, I will not take this on. You need to handle it or bring it up with the manager. The hardest part isn't saying it once. It's sticking to it when people test you, because they will test you. Nobody will accept your boundaries if you don't enforce them. If you give in, you've taught them that your limits don't matter. But when you hold firm, people either adjust or they reveal that they never respected you in the first place. Either way, you get clarity. Many people are afraid to set boundaries because they're worried that they will be perceived as difficult or too high maintenance, and people will start avoiding them. But the exact opposite is actually true. When someone has clear boundaries and is not afraid to calmly and confidently enforce them, they give off the impression of a person who knows their value, who value themselves, value their life, and value their time. And that makes other people automatically value them too. Boundaries aren't about being mean. They are about protecting your time, your energy, your space, and your peace. They tell people how to treat you, what is okay, and what isn't okay to do. By setting clear boundaries and enforcing them, you have much better chances of dealing with things you won't tolerate early on when you can still remain calm before it gets to the point where you completely explode over something. But here's where a lot of people get stuck. Even when they set boundaries, they start second-guessing themselves. Was it my fault? Am I being too sensitive? Did I cause this? That's where this next strategy comes in. Stop taking it personally. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is turn someone else's bad behavior into a story about your own worth. The truth is, most of the time, disrespect says more about the person disrespecting you than it says about you. Think about it. People who feel insecure are often the ones cutting other people down. People who feel powerless often try to dominate conversations or get into a fight with you. People who don't respect themselves often have trouble respecting anyone else. If you take that as if it's your fault, as if it says something about you, you're carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. So the next time someone disrespects you, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask, "What does this say about them?" That one shift protects you from taking their baggage home with you. It also allows you to see that their opinion of you isn't necessarily what everyone else believes about you. In fact, they may be deliberately disrespecting you in an attempt to undermine how other people perceive you, exactly because you are generally seen as more likable or more capable than them, and they feel that this is threatening to them, and that's why they're lashing out this way. Not taking it personally doesn't mean you ignore it. You can still call it out. You can still set boundaries. It just means you don't let their behavior change how you see yourself. Their lack of respect is their problem. Your job is to keep your confidence intact. But what if you've done all of this? You've spoken up, you've stayed calm, you've set boundaries, you've reminded yourself it's not about you, and the disrespect still continues. That is when this final step becomes the most powerful one. Limit access or walk away. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. If someone keeps disrespecting you, even after you've spoken up and set clear boundaries, the best thing you can do is limit their access to you or even walk away completely. And walking away doesn't have to mean drama. You don't have to slam the door or make a scene. It is not a power play. It can be as simple as not engaging in arguments, spending less time with them, or ending your relationship with this person completely. Why does this work? Because if you keep showing up and tolerating it, you're teaching them that it's okay. Walking away sends a different message. I am not available for this. It protects your peace and shows more strength than any argument ever could. And it also sends a clear message to everyone else that this kind of behavior is not something you're going to tolerate from now on. And yes, it can hurt, especially if it's family or a close friend or someone you see every day. But protecting your mental and emotional health is not selfish. You don't owe unlimited access to people who refuse to treat you with respect. Sometimes the strongest move is to quietly step away with dignity and give your time to the people who actually value it. At the end of the day, disrespect says nothing about your worth. What matters is how you handle it. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to argue every insult. What you do need is a clear standard for yourself and the willingness to show people through your actions that you respect yourself. Because once you do that, people will either rise to meet you or they will fade out of your life. And either way, you keep your peace and your self-respect.